Hey everyone, welcome. Welcome to my another live stream. Let me know if you can hear me well. Yeah, I have a slightly different setup today. Having it on landscape mode, landscape orientation. Hello. Can you guys hear the music as well? Let me go turn off my air conditioner. I'll be back. Um, there's no real benefit of drawing with hands. It's just that it's comfortable for me. Um, yeah, I've been drawing with my hands, my fingers, for a couple of years now. Yeah, it's more like because of physical limitation I have, because I have a repetitive stress injury. So it was kind of difficult to draw for a long period of time with the stylus or pencil. So yeah, that's when I switched over to just using my finger to draw. thanks for joining, guys. This is more of just a hangout stream. Nothing real special planned. Just working on continuing from where I left off last night. And yeah, it's good to have. Is anybody here just joining? Yeah, feel free to do your own thing on the side. Yeah, thankfully I'm allowed to play the lo-fi music during the live stream, so it's not as quiet as last night's stream. Again, it's like a casual hangout time, so if you have something to do, feel free to drop out. It's gonna be recorded and be available that you can view it later on YouTube. But just for me to just kind of show what I'm doing, like every night, what I'm working on, and just be able to like share what I'm currently doing. I'll do my best to answer questions, but sometimes I might be really preoccupied. What am I drawing here? It's a personal character, personal design, character design. I'm drawing these like line of maybe android or superhuman like a maid type of characters, like these waifu like maid girls with contrasting weapons, mainly like katanas and swords. And for this character I decided to give her like big pistols. But I'm imagining like they're like hunters. They hunt down like supernatural beings. Yeah, pretty cliche, pretty basic premise, but it's fun. The aesthetic is very Nier-esque, black and white kind of aesthetic with maybe one punch color. So right now what I'm just doing is just masking all the different parts of her, the designs. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, this is what I'm currently into right now, and I'm hoping to hopefully make an art book of this, and also share the process files on Patreon as well. Yeah, this is like a relaxing coloring book type of redundant task that I'm doing. But yeah, hopefully I can, I'll do my best to live stream every day, every night this week, and just kind of share my process video. And hopefully see this character completely finished. How's the sound quality, by the way, compared to like last night? If you were also here last night during the live stream. Nice, that's good to know. Yeah, I posted on the Instagram story. I'm keeping it pretty low key for now, but hopefully I can, eventually get, bigger following on YouTube. And, every stream I'll get more, people just hanging out and joining a night of drawing. Thank you. Thanks for the feedback. Yeah, let me know if the music and the voice, if it's not balanced, if the music is too loud compared to my voice. Yeah, I'm interchanging between my hands. It allows me to rest my other hand. Probably make her jacket light color. Usually I make the jacket contrasting to the hair and the face color, but I'll do something a little bit unconventional. Try to break the rules, break my principle. Yeah, I'll make the jacket light as well. Why not? That's what personal art is for, experimenting. And I'll make the inside shirt dark and the strings dark. Yeah, I like to use saturated color so I know exactly where I'm coloring. And it's not the cleanest color. Cleanest masking. That's okay. But yeah, hopefully this wonderful lo-fi music, background music is keeping you guys less bored than last night. At least for me, I like to have background music. It helps me get in the rhythm, especially doing redundant tasks like this. Also, it's relaxing. Nice. That's good to hear. Thank you for letting me know. It was really unannounced, just a random stream. So no, I appreciate that you showed up and was able to hang out with me. No, it's not flipped. It is my left hand. I interchange between both hands. I'm sort of ambidextrous. I'm right hand dominant, but I kind of learned to draw with the left hand as well. Even with the stylus, I can sort of draw with my left hand. Well, I haven't used stylus in a long time. Alright, I'm gonna go two-tone with this choker right here. So So the blue color right here is going to be, darker tone color. Yeah, I should announce the stream on Discord. Sorry, I'm gonna shift the camera a little bit so I can see the chat. It's on the iPhone, so it's not really super well set up. I'm doing well, Jose. How are you? It's a lovely evening. Yeah, I need to. Yeah, again, sorry. Yeah, Discord. I need to announce that. I'll do the announcement more streamlined way, so I can like do it right before I start streaming or have a schedule set up. So the process of choosing colors. I mean, it changes, but recently I've been choosing more like balancing between muted and colorful, so having contrast. I mean, my more zoomed out principle of design in general, for everything, like shapes, the complexity of design, the emotion of that's evoked by color, shapes, intensity, value of design. So contrast is the main thing that I try to play with. So for this is gonna be mainly leaning on the muted tone, but it's not gonna be very colorful. It's gonna have like tiny hints of color, but it's mainly gonna be relying on the contrast of the value, so dark and light values. I think rule of thirds is the main thing that I try to use. So as long as it's not like two contrasting elements are equally competing, like 50-50, half and half, it's going to work out. It's going to make the design interesting. So one has to dominate over the other. I think that's the key thing. So yeah, for this, it's gonna be lots of black and whites. And I want to make sure the focal point is the head is going to be the focal point. Also the weapons are the secondary focal point. And what I'm gonna do is try to guide the viewer's eyes towards those focal points, using the contrast of the values. But I may play around with it a little bit more, especially because it's a personal work. But yeah, I also have to figure out where I'm gonna put the color, the punch colors. I'm gonna make her this eye, the eye patch here, dark. And this color scheme, I think it just streamlines, simplifies the design. Especially to Procreate, I can only have limited amount of design, the layers, so yeah, it's good for that. So I'm gonna spend quite a bit of time. So here I'm trying to pop out these accessories, the earrings, off of the white color. Alright, let me see if there are any more questions. So the tablet I'm using is the new 2021 iPad Pro. Yeah, it's the brand new one with the M1 chip processor. Yeah, Discord is available to the public, so feel free to join. Oops. So I'm gonna have to erase this. But yeah, this is a pretty redundant process, so you guys might not find this as entertaining. So feel free to do your own thing, draw or play games or study if you're a student. Even though I never really studied as a student. Only if it was like studio work at my art college. I think I procrastinated a lot before I went to art college because the subject matters were just not interesting to me. Even though now I'm interested in a lot of those subject matters like history. I think it's because I'm getting older, getting more mature maybe. But I appreciate the history now. Also science. Not as interested in math still. But when I got to the art college at Art Center, I worked really hard. Maybe I worked a little too hard, and that's probably why I developed this physical restriction. I worked kind of endlessly without sleep and took it way too seriously. So I think the lesson I want to share is like, listen to the body, any alarms that the body gives off. Take it seriously. Don't get too greedy and ambitious with learning. You can draw anytime. Like it's not like it's timed. You have to get good at drawing immediately. Take your time on it. Make sure to balance with other activities. Learn how to cook, learn how to do some sports, develop other skills. I mean, prioritizing art, of course, but yeah. Alright. Yeah, I'll make this dark as well. I don't want to make the contrast elements too frequent. I group this into one dark color here. Alright, let me go through some chat. Do you prefer Photoshop if there are many layers for accessories, or you prefer not separate character props much? I mean, I do like Photoshop having that unlimited amount of layers I can have. But in terms of like character accessories, it doesn't, I can figure it out. Even there's like layer restriction like on Procreate. There are ways to go around it to have just as much accessories, all separately layered out. Yeah. Yeah, the reason why I'm using Procreate is because I kind of like it's simple. Also, I don't really have to worry about, I haven't used like Photoshop for iPad yet, or Clip Studio Paint. I heard that one's pretty good. Procreate feels convenient. also, you know, I can record time-lapse videos. That's pretty nice. Where can I find your brushes? Nice. I'd love to go to Chile someday. Once we're allowed to travel, that would be nice. So the brushes. Oh, sorry. Let me go back to the chat. See. Yeah, the brushes are on my Gumroad page. My Gumroad store. It's gumroad.com/zeroness. Yeah, I would try to get the most latest content that should have the latest version of the brush set. How long can Procreate record your process? So Procreate, yeah, records from the very beginning. So this is the process video, time lapse. Yeah, it shows all the way from the beginning. And it's time lapse, so it's very fast. It's really cool. I think how it works is it records every step, every action. It doesn't record like the idling part. Of course, I sometimes like pause and think, and it doesn't record that part, which is good. It just records all the actions, all the history. Like literally, if I just drew this much in one sitting, and I can hold down 2 fingers to undo all the way to the beginning. It only saves if I hit the gallery. It'll just reset the history for the undo. Magazines. Should I make the magazines dark? I'm gonna make the belt dark. Yeah, this is. So I was tempted to add like gold color, but I decided not to. I decided gold is so overly used, so I thought maybe the metal could even be white. I think that would be pretty interesting. Look very modern and streamlined looking. There's a helicopter flying by outside. I have my windows open. Yeah, sometimes I have to kind of think and imagine what just, you know, ahead of time before deciding on the color. Yeah, I'm using the blue. I'm gonna be changing it to the actual color, but just I'm using the blue to for me to like easily see where I'm painting, where I'm coloring. Yeah, I'll make her shorts also dark. Yeah, I appreciate that. I've been asked that a lot about the lighting, so hopefully I'll probably get to that part by the end of the week for sure. I can promise that. I'll probably spend. Usually normally takes like 30 minutes to maybe an hour to mask all this. So maybe no, I'll get to the lighting part sooner than that, but yeah, definitely by Friday at least. And I can definitely share that part. But yeah. And also I'll definitely do like more less cell shaded style rendition. And I'll actually do like a full on like high fidelity painting, maybe a portrait with like a dynamic lighting scenario. That'll be really fun. Yeah, I wanna do another portrait fan art of Makima from Chainsaw Man. So yeah, I might do that. With like a really red lighting, I think that would be really cool. Red lighting and just you know, leaning on the value, the contrast. Alright, yeah, I'll definitely make the magazine dark. Maybe the bottom of the magazine white. Sorry, I had to mute a little bit. I was burping. Yeah, hopefully I can stream a little bit longer. I have my microphone attached to the lightning cable of the port, the bottom port of the iPhone. That's why I can't have the charging connected to their charging cable. So it might last an hour, like maybe 2 hours maximum. I was only able to stream like an hour and a half last night, but hopefully I can stream a little bit longer than that tonight. I'll figure that out. I think there are ways to like split it so I can have both things connected. I'll have to look that up on Amazon. I'll make the cross also dark. How about that? And her boots will be, or her leggings will be pretty interesting. Quite ornamental leggings. Yeah, it'll get more interesting for sure. Yeah, the camera is the iPhone. It's I'm using the iPhone as a camera to film all this, and also the microphone. It's the Shure. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's a Shure microphone attached to, you know, where you normally like connect the charging cable for the iPhone. Yeah, hopefully the sound is good. I think Shure is a reputable brand, and you know, for making like high quality audio devices. So yeah, let me know how the sound is so I can, you know, keep using it or tweak it to make it better. But yeah, the bad thing is, the trade-off is that I'm running on the battery of the iPhone, which is not the best. I have the iPhone 11. Yeah, when I had the iPhone 10, the battery life was fantastic before. Like I was able to, you know, do everyday tasks and browsing, posting art and stuff for more than a day. But the iPhone 11, I don't know about the 12, maybe it's better, but at least 11, like it runs out far quicker, like quicker than 10. But yeah, yeah, maybe 13. I heard 13 is gonna be like a OLED or AM OLED or something, AMOLED. If that's the case, I think the battery life will be extended by a lot more. But yeah, for now, I think this is a lot easier having the camera right here. I'm also looking for like a smaller camera. Maybe I'll use GoPro. GoPros are tiny and it's pretty high quality. So maybe I'll get a GoPro and mount it right next to, like off to the side like this. If I have it right in front of me, it just doesn't work. It's just really hard for me to draw. It just gets in the way. So yeah, if you guys know any good setup, like yeah, I would appreciate it if you can share any YouTubers or any art streamers. Eventually, yeah, I want to do the GoPro or something smaller. I think the cameras are getting smaller and maintain the quality. Yeah, I would love to just run it off of my my PC with It has better microphone as well. And use the Streamlabs OBS. Show multiple displays. Show this, and also like directly mirroring. So the quality is a lot better. And also do some like fancy, user interface, so you guys can be more, more integrated to the live stream itself. That'll be really cool. Yeah, I'll make this part dark. I'll make this part dark here. And I'll make the strings white. Yeah. Usually I wouldn't make the string light, contrasting off of the dark. Especially for League, because the characters are really small and, high detail, high contrast is always bad for in-game readability. What we say is high detail, low contrast to make sure it's readable and make the design interesting as well. But because this is my personal work, I like to, add a little bit more detail. So I'm gonna make the strings white on dark. Alright, let me go through some chat. Yeah, thanks for the feedback on the audio quality. Finger painting, yes, it is finger painting. I'm very curious to know, who are your main artists reference? Can you tell us a little about it, please? I have a lot of artists that I get inspired by. There's a big long list. It's mostly like, right now, mostly like Japanese artists, a lot of Western artists. I like Joe Mad stuff. I like some Marvel artists like Ryan Maynardine. But recently, I've been following a lot of the Japanese artists on Twitter. And there's so many of them. And I don't know, there's always new artists popping up. Really, really incredible artists. But most notably, I like, because I'm pretty geeky and nerdy gamer growing up. So yeah, I really like Metal Gear series, especially like Metal Gear 2, 3, Metal Gear Solid 2, and 3, even the remake of 1 for GameCube, also 4. So Yoji Shinkawa is very inspirational artist. And I love his like brushwork. And yeah, I don't even know how he's able to do that. Like, also Kim Jung-gi is really cool. Even though I don't really replicate, like my stuff isn't very influenced by his work. Like I like his, I really admire the way he's able to have that vivid imagination in his head. And he's literally just printing. That's what he does. He just prints out on the sketchbook or paper with the unforgiving pen medium. Like if you screw up, you can't Control Z it, make it disappear. So it's like Olympic level of doing art. I feel like he's able to fill the entire wall and just fill up with all these imaginative ideas that flows really well. So I really admire his ability to do that. But yeah, Yoji Shinkawa is amazing. I love his design sensibility. I also love Arnold Sang's work. He's I think the principal artist and also art director for Overwatch. I don't really play Overwatch that much, but I really appreciate the design direction of Overwatch. And I think he said it really well. He brought something new, also brought familiar aspects based on what he loves, like what influenced his style and all that. I also like the Atlas Games Persona series, also Catherine Shigenori Soejima's work. I'm highly influenced by that, even though my art doesn't really look similar, but yeah, I really like his work. Okay, I'm trying to figure out what else to make things black. Okay, I think I'm gonna make the top of the gun black. Just the top part. I want to have this, separated, bisecting sort of black and white motif here. And the bottom part being the white. That would be really cool. So I'm just gonna do that. Alright, let me go through another chat so I can do. Hey Jose, yeah, I think your English is great. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, thanks for the question. I heard many coworkers and other artists share their negative industry experience. I'm new concept artist in the industry. Do you have any tips to do well? Negative industry experience. So, fortunately, I haven't had that much negative experience. Like a lot of it's never perfect, right? There's always room for improvement in any companies, any teams that you work for, including what I can work on as a developer. And the negative experience, I'm meaning like the extreme ones, like harassment or any of that. Like, unfortunately, that happens. The headlines that we have seen recently. I really hope the justice is brought, and anyone that's experienced that, they can recover and not go through that again. I'm glad that that's being brought out. They're being very brave. They're able to do that, stand up for themselves and for others who aren't able to stand up for various reasons. Yeah, fortunately, I didn't have to go through that, and I'm thankful for that. But I'm also, in terms of like just a minor, right, negative stuff, like minor flaws, I guess. There's always challenges. Main challenges are, when companies, when you hire somebody that's not really a team player, or you work with people that you don't really jive well with. Those are I think more of a bigger challenge when you're working in a studio, or when there's a leadership that's not really helping the team move and not really owning any problems that happen. But I think the advice I can give, and the advice I can give myself if I were to start working in a big studio again, like if I had a time machine and I can go back, you can get caught up on like venting, and venting, I think it's okay to do. Like I think that's pretty common. Like when things don't go the way you expect, like sometimes you have to kind of let that frustration out or share that experience with somebody. But the dangerous part is like when you vent a little bit too much, you let that negative emotion just pile up inside you, and you want to just you get kind of complacent with it. Like you get used to talking about it, and kind of get the satisfaction out of talking to a group of regular people that you meet. And I mean, the short answer is like gossiping, right? So that's something I advise people to not do, not have that urge to do, in order to let those frustrating emotions out. I think that's pretty unhealthy for yourself and also the team. Instead, if there are people like that, I would stay away from them, or try to tell them, not like encourage them not to do that. But if they still do it, then the best thing is to not be part of it and not to fuel that kind of behavior. So, and that I guess that applies to even outside of work. Yeah, I'm trying to make this a routine, part of my ritual for every day, especially with the COVID and everything, since I can't really go and socialize at work. And also I've been wanting to, figure out best way to share my knowledge, and I've been doing that on Patreon only, but the reach hasn't been the strongest, because it's it is like a donation based, like a support based, like crowdsource based, so it's not super easily accessible for everybody. So I want this, I realize YouTube or Twitch, any type of stream, I think that's the best way to potentially share my art knowledge with everybody. And I decided, I watch a lot of YouTube. I watch YouTubers for educational purposes, like not just art, but investment advice, investment stuff, and philosophical, podcasts. And I thought, I spend a lot of time watching YouTube, and I want to also give back to the community in some ways. I think this is a great way to do it. And even though I don't have that many, people like watching it yet, I think that's natural. I want to start now and slowly see where this goes. And hopefully I can give back to the community as efficiently as possible. So make the trigger also black color here. Yeah, I made it black here. Alright, looks good. Oh yeah, it's not, there's no pressure at all for signing up for the Patreon. I totally understand it's completely donation based, so yeah, that's why I want to make YouTube or any streaming service to make it easier and use Patreon to kind of support that cause. Those kind donations to be used to for me to grow the YouTube. Yeah, the office politics, anywhere there's a lot of, there's a growth in the company, there's always going to be politics. I think it's in human nature, right? The stream part. Use a circle brush to do that. Yeah, it's been pretty warm recently here in LA. It is pretty difficult to paint with the finger, but I got used to it. It took maybe half a year to get used to it. There's really no friction. I have this like paper, like matte texture here as a screen protector, and that makes the surface really smooth, and it's quite nice actually. Without it, on the glossy screen, it's a little slippery with the fingerprint and like finger oil on it. Over time, it just it builds up and gets a little bit slippery, I guess, and also sticky. So yeah. Yeah, even using like a Apple Pencil stylus, it gets slippery because of the oil on the glossy screen. Okay, let's change the color. I'm gonna duplicate just to make sure it's more like solid. I'm gonna keep I'm not gonna completely get rid of the saturation. I'm gonna still give some color, like dark blue, and yeah, darken the brightness. Yeah, pretty interesting. I think it's looking pretty good. Let's see. Actually, I think I might make the skirt completely, I mean, the entire skirt dark. I might do that. Or I'm gonna make the leggings dark. I will make the cross, and yeah, I'm gonna make this the lighter color instead. Yeah, I don't want to complicate the leggings too much, so I'm gonna do this instead. I'm gonna select this white detail here. I'll just make this dark. Yeah, since the leggings, adding too much contrast and high detail will make it distracting. Yeah, it's gonna divert the focal point away from the head area. So. Yeah, just simplifying the design. Yeah, the disadvantage is for sure not being able to draw from far away, zoomed out, and get a lot of paintings and drawings done at a zoomed out level. That's something I dearly miss about drawing, being able to just have it zoomed out and just, use finger movement and precisely draw. But because I have to use my finger, I have to zoom in a lot. So that's one of the things I was a little bit worried about doing Livestream demo, because you'll see me zoom in and out a lot. But yeah, maybe it'll be okay. And that's why if I switch over to the GoPro cam and also mirror screen mirror this onto my Time-lapse OBS, I'll be able to show multiple displays showing different angles, and even maybe showing like a completely zoomed out version of the progress. Is this design inspired by anything in particular? Not really, I guess. I mean, the aesthetic is very near-esque. That's the inspiration. I can kind of share what else I'm working on, right? So I'm working on this girl as well. White hair, very near-esque. And this as well. I mean, the design direction is very Lolita style, with bows and ribbons, with katanas and dress. So that's kind of the idea so far, with a small punch color. you completely transitioned to Procreate, yes, I have completely transitioned. Yeah, like before I transitioned, like halfway, I was halfway there before I did. I used the Photoshop to maybe increase the canvas size even bigger, because back then Procreate was a little less efficient and had less features, so I had to use Photoshop to do some final touch-ups, like post-processing, and especially like tweaking the, the, the proportions and features of the face, the design, the details, because it lacked the liquify tool and warp tool. Now they have liquify tool here, also warp tool right here. So yeah, ever since that update came out, I was like, yeah, there's no real need for me to go and use the Photoshop anymore. So that was really nice. Let me just merge this with this right here, simplify. It's cracking some of my bones, stretching, and yeah, I'll make the skirt white, or yeah, I'll make it white, so it kind of complements or contrasts the legging. Tips on improving artworks. I guess it really depends. It's generally, I think, improving artwork, it really has to do with your attitude, I guess. Maybe attitude is a little bit like a harsh word. Maybe mentality. Not attitude, like more like your goals, like yeah, mentality. I think mentality is a good way to put it. Like, I think you should always feel open-minded. Like, yeah, open-mindedness is a great way to just improve in art in general. Yeah, open-mindedness in a way that you're constantly trying something like harder, like challenging, something new. And when you're looking at artworks, like browsing Twitter or Pinterest, like you get fascinated by new things, new ways to approach art. I think that's the fastest way to find new techniques, also improve on what you like creating. Right, use the blue. Repetition, redundancy is also good. It's boring, but it's, grinding, doing the same thing over and over is also good, even though that's contradicting to what I just said about try something new. Yeah, so balancing two things, doing redundant things, doing the same thing is also good, because you're trying to perfect what you're used to doing. Repetition. Like playing games, like playing like Apex Legends over and over again, right? And you're perfecting the aim, reaction time and aiming. Same thing, like, but if you have like a little bit of that mentality of I'm openness to to be curious at least and be like, oh, this, I wonder how this is done. Then you have, you're opening yourself up to have that opportunity to like integrate something new, something that's better and efficient and new and different to an existing technique. To innovate like the way you work and make it better, make it more efficient and make it look just better, I guess. Yeah, I think that would be my just a general tip on how to get better at art. I should just do it like this. Alright, we got 30 people, well 31 people on stream. Nice. How many hours do I draw a day? I would say at least 5 hours a day, like doing full-time job work, maybe, but you know, on average, probably, 8 hours, 8 to 10 hours. Yeah, I haven't spent that much time doing personal work that much. Usually I spend doing personal work during the weekend. Yeah, on average I would say, yeah, at least, I mean, like 5 hours if I'm, if there are other things to take care of, and if there are meetings. Yeah, 5 hours would be the minimum amount I spend per day. Sometimes on weekends I don't really draw, like maybe an hour. If I don't feel like drawing, I would just, spend an hour at most. It is a pretty warm day today, even the nighttime. Hello, Leah. Welcome everybody. Well, if you guys are joining just now, I'm just this is my second stream of the week. I did my like unannounced stream last night. Stream for an hour and a half, but tonight I'm gonna stream a little bit longer. And yeah, I'm just trying to get used to streaming like consistently as much as possible, especially when I'm working on like personal stuff. Even fan arts, I'll do some streams. But yeah, welcome everybody. It's a very casual style of streaming, so you know, feel free to grab your own sketchbook and pencil, or your iPad, or on the tablets. Feel free to just sit by and hang out with us. Yeah, I'm just working on masking right now. It's pretty redundant work, relaxing, but oh, that looks kind of cool. Yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is change these to white. I'm gonna make this skirt like maybe dark gray. And that's what I'm gonna do. And add another value other than just black and white. And yeah, lo-fi beats are just really good. I haven't listened to it in a long time. I usually listen to like my Spotify playlist. Unfortunately, I cannot play that on stream. But I'm gonna add. Yeah, lo-fi is really good. Alright, hey everyone. Thanks for joining. Yeah, I will upload. I think it automatically uploads the VOD, the VOD videos on my YouTube. So feel free to like come back. Like you don't have to stick around. If you have stuff to do, and you can watch it after for sure. Would you prefer the style of using line art or color blocking throughout your drawing session? Depends. I switch it up. I will say at the beginning, like 10 years ago, like when I started working at Riot, like my style is pretty different. It's more realistic. I use a lot of like photo textures to make things look realistic. I drew characters very realistic way. But nowadays it's more about stylized characters, especially because I worked at Riot. Like that's how I think that's how my style generally evolved naturally because of the what I had to do for the League of Legends. Let me cut and paste. Oh, yeah, there you go. So for a while, it's really different. I rendered the crap out of everything. I rendered a lot. I looked at a lot of like photo references as a bar, as a reference for like how am I going to like the finished level. I'm looking at like the photo reference and also like highly beautifully rendered like 3D artworks as like the bar to get bar for the finished level. And yeah, it took a long time to get it to that level of finish, and also I think it took a toll on my hands, and that led to my, you know, having the repetitive stress injury. I'm gonna turn the music down a little bit. And you know, when I developed that repetitive stress injury, I was like, it was no longer about like, you know, spending as much time as possible to make the art look good. It's more about, oh, how am I gonna maximize, you know, the efficiency and, you know, my concept art, I guess, with the given the time I have. So yeah, I realized like spending too much time just rendering everything to make it look good like was not efficient anymore. So you know, my styles started to go more stylized and simplistic, and also I started to rely more on line art. So I would, like before that I didn't really do line art or sketching at all. It was more like, you know, painting and using photo textures to make it look realistic. But now, yeah, I used line art for several years, and that just changed everything. Like and my style and thought, like my thoughts towards like my philosophies and principles on how to design characters changed as well. And yeah, for the longest time I used the line art, and it was very factory style, like conveyor belt style process. So I would do this. So I would just do rough sketch, do some tweakings, and do a pass of clean line art. And once I'm satisfied with the clean line art, I would just mask the entire character, clean it up a little bit, add some more detail, design. Then, you know, mask out all the different parts internally within the character. You know, after that I would add, you know, use the multiply layer on top and just add all the you know, shading and also cast shadows. And after that I will add like, you know, highlights and lighting. And to finish it off, I would do post-processing and just merge everything and do some refinement, like painting on top of it. So it's very conveyor belt style process, which was like super predictable, reliable, and easy. And when I did that for several years, like most recently, I think starting in 2019 and last year, I started to do block-in painting, and that was really hard before, like 10 years ago, right when I got off of Art Center and joined Riot. That, you know, process of just doing block in and going very organic, like sculpting the way sculptors start with a, you know, block of clay. It was kind of like that, and organically like molding and shaping the character by you know, blocking in the painting. That process became a lot easier. I think this conveyor belt style of process kind of helped me out, like think things very simplistic way and organized way. So anyways, that was like a really long explanation. Went a little bit off tangent, so I apologize. But for art style, the line art, I like to look at a lot of, yeah, I'm a big fan of, yeah, like Shigenori Soejima art style. Persona, he did Persona, and also Yusuke Kozaki as well. He did like the Pokemon Go gym leader concepts, the character concepts, and also Fire Emblem. He's iconic with designing Fire Emblem characters, as well as a lot of like countless, like Joe Mad's line work is, immaculate as well. I love his like line weights that he does. Also, Arnold Sang, he does line art really well, very clean, and his line weights are great. His sense of design, the balance, making it simplistic and also adding touch of complexity for adding that right amount of design interest, but without making it too cluttered and noisy. Arnold does that really well. So, yeah. So yeah, I look at a lot of the various artists' work for getting inspired and trying to hone my skill further. All right, let's add some colors. Let me see if there's more questions. Yeah, thanks. Vi concept is exactly what I talked about, what my art style was like 10 years ago, or nearly a decade ago, I mean. Yeah, usually I take frequent breaks between, when I'm drawing, but it's nice to be able to draw for a long time during the stream. Let's put this at the very top. So I can paint this hairpin here. I'm gonna get rid of this. This was gonna be like a transparent skirt, but I don't think it makes sense for this character design. I think shorts underneath these frilly skirt is okay. Yeah, I remember the Victorious Lee skin. Yeah, a long time ago, nearly a decade ago, maybe eight and a half years ago. Yeah, that was like the first Victorious skin. Oh man, yeah, I spent quite a bit of time rendering that thing for art. Do I ever block and sculpt full body design? Yeah. Sculpt like 3D or because I don't really do 3D. I wish I could. If it's on iPad, if there's a 3D program on iPad, that would be awesome. I would love a 3D program on iPad, 3D app. trying to figure out what the color of the bullets should be. Should it be like an energy color? I think I'm gonna make it like a prismatic sort of color. Cool. Yeah, I'm not sure what color I'm gonna make the punch color. I'll figure it out. I'll make this. I'll choose the color layer. Yeah, almost done with the masking. Almost done. Took me almost 2 hours. Usually it doesn't take that long, but sometimes it does, I guess. Let's see. Have you used drawing mannequin figure for the past works? If so, is there one you would recommend? I don't know the exact name. Figma? I think maybe it's Figma. I think they make it. It's like an anime figurine, posable figurine. And I highly recommend that one. Even though it has some limitations, it's not perfect. It's good enough. I don't just use it one-to-one. What I do is I snap a photo after I make like certain pose. And first of all, I have high I admire admiration for animators, because they have to like pose like 3D models by hand for every frame, like frame by frame. Trying to pose a figure and make the figure look natural, that's pretty difficult. That's what I realized when I try to work with a posable figure. But anyways, like after I take a snapshot of the figurine, what I do is I kind of start sketching on top of it, or I use the liquify tool or warp tool to change the proportion and also manipulate the posture, and start doing like a rough sketch after toning down the opacity down a little bit, and try to enhance, the pose and the posture of the character further before I commit to like doing like a line art. But yeah, I highly recommend it because you can get really nice like dynamic angle and perspective. Also the pose as well. But most importantly, I think the dynamic angle, the distortion you sort of get with the camera lens. And I think, yeah, I used the iPhone to do it, especially like the iPhone 12. No, I have 11. Yeah, iPhone 11 has like a multiple cameras. So yeah, I haven't used the posable figure in a while. I should. I have a bunch of photos that I haven't used yet. But yeah, thanks for asking that. That's yeah. Oh, make the line art invisible. It's pretty rough. It's pretty, yeah, it's not the most clean masking. Like if you can see the masking, it's because I end up like merging everything together anyways, and I retain the line art. I've seen some other artists like some Korean, like a Japanese artist, like when they do the line art and do the masking, it's super like refined and clean. But yeah, mine is pretty messy. Let me track back a little bit and check out the chats. Yeah, Body Chan and Kun. That's what I use. I don't think it's Figma. I think you're right. It's Body Kun or Body Chan. Yeah. Yeah, they use Lasso. I think yeah, Lasso's good, but yeah, I think there are many ways to do it. I've used Lasso before as well, but for some reason I think using a brush is pretty comfortable for me. Yeah, Lasso will be a lot faster, probably. My favorite skin line to work on. My favorite skin line, I would say. I think the Corsair skins were pretty fun, although I wish I had spent more time on it. Like Corsair's skin was really fun. Because I wasn't really like the vision holder of the skin line, I was like working collaboratively with like two other artists and no three other artists, and it was cool because we were pretty aligned right away. Like the Corsair lines were the pirate lines, like the Bilgewater, and there were Malphite, Garen, Quinn, and oh, was there a fourth? I can't remember the fourth, but yeah, if you guys can help me out. But yeah, and they were pretty distinct, like a little bit, like slightly. It was kind of like these characters had like different traits and different personalities, so it was really fun, kind of decorating their outfits. By using like the Bilgewater motif, the bearded lady, the Kraken. Not the Kraken, I think. I don't know the formal name of the creature, but at least what they called in the lore is the bearded lady. But that was really fun. It was not as high scope, so there was a lot of creative freedom, I would say. Star Guardian was really fun. It was very challenging for me because I didn't grow up watching like magical girls. I've watched like few episodes of Sailor Moon growing up, but I was not a big fan of Sailor Moon. And I wasn't really like I didn't really watch anime that much. So I wasn't super familiar with the magical girl genre. So I had to do tons of research. I had to like talk to a lot of experts, you know, that that know the magical girl genre really really well. I also had to like YouTube a lot of videos, get familiar with it. Looked at a lot of like Madoka artworks and a lot of magical girl based artworks, and that was really fun, like working on the Lux and working on the team line. The team skin line was really cool. Yeah, KDA was really fun as well. That was one of the most difficult projects that I worked on, but very satisfying project as well, because it was everybody put their best effort into the project, and it showed. Players loved it. Yeah, that one was also really hard because I wasn't familiar with the K-pop or just the pop scene. The last time I listened to K-pop before KDA was like 10 years before, like HOT, I didn't listen to like Shiny, right? That's what they're called, Shiny, and like EXO when they were before BTS was popular. But yeah, same thing again. I talked to a lot of experts. I listened to tons of K-pop music videos and watched the music videos. And ever since then, I became a big fan of K-pop, and it's amazing how popular K-pop is around the world. And I even went to the concerts. I went to the Blackpink concert. I think that was my favorite for sure. I went to KCON in LA twice. Yeah, I watched them. Speaking of twice, I saw twice at the second viewing of second show of KCON, and yeah, twice is great. And also BTS, I went to their concert twice. Very expensive ticket, but it was worth it. And thankfully, I got to see their concert, twice before the COVID happened. Let me take a look at more. Do concepts get pulled back a lot after pre-production due to scope? I don't know if this is okay to ask. Yeah, I think I can share that. I think, yeah, it gets pulled back through various reasons. Yeah, I remember one of the skins that got canned or iceboxed because, due to, maybe the stakeholder or the producer who's responsible for making skins be successful product, be resonant among players, didn't feel confident anymore throughout, and it's normal. I think that's good to have, like that kind of gatekeeper who has a good sense of what product's gonna resonate with players, because we want to make sure it's done, or they want to make sure it's done properly. So we have those checkpoints throughout the production as we're working on it. I keep calling it, but I no longer work there. So they have those checkpoints to make sure, throughout the production, it's developing, really well, and it's becoming a product that's hitting the product goals, aligning with the product goals and vision. Yeah, so that's the way it's done. I mean, the scopes change. Like, if it's high scope and, you know, they end up, like, deciding, oh, we don't want to spend that much, or, you know, we're limited in terms of, you know, amount we can spend. Yeah, they can scope it down, or sometimes they can scope it up, like if the idea is really great, and it can become, you know, even a legendary skin, like they'll scope it up. Yeah, those kind of flexibility, I think it's really good. Oh yeah, let's color her skin, or her eyes first actually. Yeah, almost done masking. Yeah, after this I might sketch another character. I mean, usually I do, you know, research, but, you know, let's see how it goes. I do tons of research, and I do like mood board and reference board, trying to figure out what color she would be. Maybe purple. I'll give her like yellow eyes. Yellow eyes, like with purple punch color. That'd be cool. Am I making all their eyes same color? No, different color. Green, blue, pink. Yeah, it's all different. Yeah, I'll keep hers like yellow. How about that? Slightly muted. Alright, skin color. I'll have this generic skin color here. I'm going to tweak it, but let's just color the whole thing here. Let me tweak it now. Make her a little bit pale, I guess. Or maybe. Maybe she can be darker. Maybe she can be like a darker skin tone character, like more tanned, or, you know, darker skin. Oh. Alright, let's do that. And I'm gonna paint the white part of the eyes. I don't know the formal name. Or medical term for that. And her teeth. Yeah. Alright, looks cool. I like her skin tone actually. Okay, let me go through more. Live stream. It's so when I design character, where do I pull my inspiration? References or visual library? It's both. Yeah. Yeah, it's both, and it's situational depending on how familiar I am with the subject matter. For this, I didn't pull too much from the references. I pulled from the visual library because I sort of like I knew mostly what I wanted to make. But I think it's best to create the reference board. I think preparing is always really good to do before I design any characters. So yeah, I try to prepare as much as possible. But yeah, I rarely 100% pull from my visual library because I know if I prepare and research and put together reference images, reference board, the result is always better. But the only time I pull from just solely from visual library is when I'm, just doing personal work and doing a one-off, like fun sketch or speed paint, I guess, for exercise or practice. So for 3D hyper-realistic look, would you prefer going with grayscale method to get the values, or painting directly can give the same satisfying result? So that's a good question because I did use grayscale method first, like prior to joining Riot, and for some of the earlier champions that I designed, yeah, I did use grayscale. And I didn't notice some artists at Riot even recently using that method. But I realized, as I developed and as I developed new ways of doing things, and yeah, how I realized how difficult it is to get the colors look right and look good when you do grayscale first and then try to color the grayscale. That method is, yeah, I personally don't use that method, and I never figured out how to do it properly. And I know there are artists that use that method and do it successfully and create like beautiful artwork, but I personally don't like it. I like to go straight into painting, blocking and painting, or just do this like masking and then start to develop colors on top of it. Yeah, getting the pure vibrant color is really difficult. Out of grayscale artwork. So yeah, you kind of lose the color, and also it kind of messes up the values of the grayscale. It's kind of like painting over and starting over, sort of. So I'd rather just go straight into color. I think you get more vibrant and higher control. Alright, I think that looks good. I like it. I'll start to add some. I'm gonna smudge this right here a little bit here. Make the transition, like blend it a little bit here. I know that's like tiny nitpick, but I like to add that kind of subtleties there. Alright, let's add some, the fun part, the makeup and staining, adding some hue, subtleties, variations. I'm getting pretty hungry. Man, I just had dinner before this, but I think talking and drawing takes a lot of energy, I realize. But yeah, it's been a good stream so far. I hope you guys are enjoying hanging out with us, making some cool art. Yeah, I'm having fun just sharing this process and just being able to interact and, you know, just have some cool conversation with you guys. Yeah, that's something I realize, like, yeah, COVID, it does get pretty old just working from home all the time. I did miss that aspect of communicating and conversing with people, going out for like a coffee, going out for a coffee walk, taking a break from work, just talking about stuff, anything. But yeah, this is a good way to do it during COVID. Yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for joining. Let me see if there's any. Are you of mixed Korean descent? No, I'm 100%. I think I'm 100% Korean, as far as I know. I know there's like a test that you can get from Amazon for like $100 to check your DNA and see if who your ancestors are. Maybe I'll make her lips like light. Yeah, I've been making all the characters' lips like really red, like vibrant red, but maybe I can just like different this time. No. Do I want these android girls, like synthetic characters, or replicant, like Blade Runner replicant characters to be similar? Because I think their antagonists are going to be like supernatural characters, like the Death Verse style characters, like apparitions, specters, or vampires, demons. That's what I have in mind right now. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. Let me add some purple actually. But yeah, I'm getting pretty hungry for sure. Hello. Did I get the chance to meet Alex Flores? Yeah, more than that. I've worked closely with him, hung out with him. Super awesome guy, super nice guy. He smiles a lot. I don't think I've ever seen anybody smile that much and be positive. He's also very good at League of Legends. We used to play a lot at nighttime. 11 o'clock we would play like almost every night. It would be just awesome. Also with Pan, Chengwei Pan, yeah, those two guys, some of the most talented illustrator artists I've ever met. Um, yeah, they're both really good at League too. But yeah, hung out with them a lot before. Yeah, I haven't been able to since COVID happened. Just cracking my back, stretching out my back. And here I'm just adding some like blushes to the skin, a warm gradient to the skin. Yeah, I didn't really play near because I would love to play near automata or automata. Um, but it looks pretty hard to play. I mean, it's by the Platinum Games. I really like the Platinum Games, like Bayonetta. Like it's the same developer by Bayonetta, I think. I haven't played Bayonetta either. I played Devil May Cry series. I thoroughly enjoyed the latest one. Man, it's a beautiful game. But I cannot play like fast-paced games like that anymore. Games with that amount of button precision control because of my hands. So, I just watch playthroughs, YouTube playthroughs instead. I think that's good enough, yeah. Yeah, also busy grinding on art. Thanks, Tony. That's good to hear. Yeah, iPad is great for that. The mobility. Yeah, I'd rather draw 2B than, play the game. Even though I think the game is fantastic and looks really fun. The music is great. The characters are great. Yeah. So I'm just adding some warmth to her skin tone here. Yeah, the key is not to overdo it, not to overdo the subtle blush. So I'm gonna add the blush on her cheeks. Not add too much. Yeah, and after that I just blend it by color picking the skin tone, just going over the blush. Yeah. Around the nose. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is so fun. and it's very rewarding after doing the very redundant part of adding the masks, separating all the masks. Yeah, thanks for all the kind words, everyone. Yeah, thanks, Leah. Deathverse Universe. Yeah, I really wanna develop that into something, even something small for like an art book would be great. And I've been working on it for way too long. Well, working on these characters is pretty refreshing. Still similar theme, in terms of like these android-like girls, like synthetic beings, powerful beings fighting, supernatural beings. It's fun. Yeah, I like color picking really light, slightly saturated color. And what I do is just softly, add color and mix them. So even though it's like very flat black and white overall, I like to add some subtle like color variations. And lo-fi is really good, very consistent. Oh, oops, oh, wrong layer. It's not on the jacket layer. So yeah, what I'm doing here, like with two finger, I just alpha lock. You see the checkerboard pattern in the icon. So alpha lock. So that way I can only paint on what's on the layer. Yeah, don't want to overdo this saturation here. Just subtle. I think it's good enough. Yeah, it looks pretty interesting. Yeah. Yeah, thanks for joining. Extinction. Yeah, catch you next time. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it for tonight. Yeah, thanks everybody for joining. Yeah, I'll slowly stretch out the stream longer and longer as I do it more consistently. And maybe do the take a break. I don't know how I'm gonna do that. Maybe mute. No, maybe, yeah, I can just take a break, like walk away and then resume next time. But yeah, I think I'm getting a little bit too hungry. So I think I'm gonna call it and, maybe do another one tomorrow. Because I'll be doing personal work every day, so yeah, thanks everybody for joining. I'll have the VOD available on YouTube and you'll be able to see it, if you want to see it again. But yeah, feel free to join next one, probably tomorrow. And yeah. All right, thank you. I'll see you guys tomorrow.